Hi, Chris. Firstly, thank you for your patience. I know it's been a long time. I would have gone nuts if I had to wait as long as you have, but you've been very good about it, so I thank you sincerely. It really is meaningful to me. Thank you. Okay, but the wait is over. This is your father's watch. You remember this from when it was new and on his wrist, and you'd specifically want to have this restored and make it correct. The nice thing is I was able to, in the intervening time, find a new old stock genuine crystal for this model, which actually isn't that easy to do, but I have one. So let's do it. What do you say? Let's go forward. Okay, I got that bracelet off. That was fun. The original spring bars were completely seized. Thankfully, I have new old stock ones of these. But let's get this. These are interesting because they have a flat, non-rotating case back with a rotating retention ring, which smashes the case back down onto the case back seal. Come on. Get off of there. And these are basically sort of a cartridge style movement. So you see you've got the case here. This is kind of I always think of this as being sort of an Omega thing. This is the same system with having an outer case with a sort of a modular movement is the same thing that Omega did here with starting with the Mark II, and this is a Mark IV, but it does that same thing. This outer thing, like if I popped this thing out, this whole inner thing is one chunk. Same process. So those can go into our happy mappy thingy, and they open on the front and the back. You stop it. See, there's your sort of shim. It holds that in place. A little bit of corrosion in here. Nothing major. Believe me, I've seen worse. So there it is. Crystal gasket is pretty well seized on there. There we go. There we go. See, isn't that beautiful? Look at Seiko's casing system. I mean, you've got a little bit of peppering on your loom, but nothing major. There's a crystal gasket. These are made of Viton, which means they don't oxidize, they don't age, really, which is always very interesting. Okay, let me pause, and I want to get this movement out. I have to hit the release lever. Okay, I have the dial and hands off, and we can look at it. It is not up to power, but it's running a little bit. Your winding weight is really, this ball bearing assembly is really loose, and we can see that by looking at the edge of the main plate there. You can see how ground down to the brass it is. See how, like, god damn it. See how the N in Japan has started getting eaten away. So we'll need to replace this baby, because unlike the earlier 6.6 series movements, you can't just replace this. You've got to swap out the whole thing. And that's the way that goes. Definitely running. No servicing marks inside the case back, but you can see that reflective stripe here. That is from the weight grinding around inside. And that's one of the reasons why we have all this little black crap everywhere. All that metal dust coming off. Yeah, look at all that grease. But it's a runner. Balance looks smooth. Hazy, but oh, what the? Okay, good. Thought for a second it was missing a tooth. It was just some of that black junk. Nope. I mean, generally these tend to come out pretty well. Wow, look at that mess. Generally those tend to come out pretty well. So aside from this unit being bad, we'll see how the rest of it goes. Let me start ripping it apart. Okay, so your lower mainspring arbor port is pretty worn. It's rare for me to see a 7000 series with a worn lower mainspring arbor port, but this one is definitely worn. You can see the screw going back and forth. So the lower end of this is going to be pretty rough. That's okay. You know, it needs to be done, right? So I've got the train bridge off. You can see in the lower, of course I'm going right across it. The upper mainspring arbor port bushing is pretty worn. It's right there with the tip of my tweezers. You can see that that hole is not round, it's an oval. So I'm going to have to work on that one too. Deal with that. It's just, you know, it's a watch that got worn. There's your click spring. Fourth wheel and pinion. Third wheel. Escape wheel. Good blows. I'll inspect all those things. Come on. Don't fight me. Yeah. Okay, I'll open that up. Real typical. Though not necessarily for this. It's just, it's worn and I'll have to make it better. Okay, here we are looking at the top. And you can see this is the lower mainspring arbor port right there. You can see how it's all blown out to that direction on this side. Yeah, it's amazing that tiny amount of material loss will cause so much flop. Okay, it's also, I see the top is hazy. I mean, the watch got a little bit of moisture in it, but overall you got off pretty light. Let's strip it. Okay, well, here we are. Despite the snow outside, which there's a lot, your movement is clean and lovely. I don't know, those two events aren't linked. It's just looking out the window and it is snowing. Anyway, there's your lower mainspring arbor jewel in place. Nice big gold beefy jewel, and that'll help things out quite a lot. Cool. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Sorry for the noise. We're at the end of the day and the kids are home, and so it's much louder than it normally would be. So just stick with me. Trying to do this blind here. Well, not blind, but you know, normally I'd be right on top of it. But come on. Good Lord. Hang on. Where's your underwear? That's a wonderful question to hear asked. Come on, stop fighting me. Stop fighting me. Okay, and there we are running. It ran before, it was just weak. Let's see what we got. Whoops. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, would you stop fighting me? I tell you, there's this thing, I don't remember where I read it, but it talked about the malevolence of inanimate objects. I always thought about that. Not all objects are malevolent, but some of them do definitely seem to be ornery. Okay. We are clearly got us a runner. Clearly chugging along. You can see that the ultrasonic did a nice job of cleaning up that black, that black gunk that was on everything, which is always nice. Okay, so I want to turn on the ultrasonic. Let's turn on the time grapher and see what we can see. Let's try that. I'm going to be curious. Got to set it to 53 degrees. Okay, let's look at it. Fresh new numbers. Okay, so let's, whoops. So here we are. We're going to find out together. Okay. We are definitely starting in. Let me demag it real quick. Oh, the numbers are rising. Hang on. Okay, so I've got the train assembled, and I just finished doing the calendar side, except for the day wheel. But I just wanted to. There's that lower mainspring arbor jewel again, and you can just sort of see it as we're going along here. This is the special release lever that Seiko adds to movements that are front loaders like this, so you can release the stem, which is important. But this looks pretty neat. I'm gonna flip it over here and put the pallet fork on, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it is beyond the end of the day. I was getting real not okay numbers out of this watch, and I went back in and I looked carefully, and the pallet fork, one of the pinions was slightly bent, so that was hanging up. Now I could straighten it or I could just replace it, and in terms of time or straightening, it was easier just to replace it. There we are. So the next thing now is this. Look at that. Brand new. New old stock. That's the bunny. So I'm going to put this weight on. I'm going to clean this up, clean this, put this on, and then I'm going to let this run in overnight and then get to it tomorrow. Because I want to make sure a front loader like this, you have to have it basically tested and ready to go before you close it up. Otherwise, it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So that's what I'm going to do. Quick follow-up. Now I've got the winding bridge and everything on there. We're finally getting usable numbers, which is nice. Okay, we'll see how this brings tomorrow. And there we are. As you requested, I did the minimum needed to bring it back to a working life. So no case polishing. It does have the new crystal. It's got the new winding weight, obviously, the new pallet fork. It's been serviced. Everything's been clean. It's also got NOS genuine Seiko spring bars, because your old ones are just junk. Oops, sorry. Here's your original winding weight in the replacement packet. Here's your original crystal in the replacement packet. Here's your original pallet fork in the replacement packet. And that's it. Thank you again for your patience. Would you stop wiggling? I really do appreciate it, and I'm sorry that I had your watch for so long. Rest assured, at the very least, you're not alone. But I'm pushing through as best I can. Ready to go. I hope you enjoy it in good health, and thank you so much for entrusting me with your father's watch. I really do appreciate it.